This is a power play, plain and simple. The president wants people to obey. He wants people to use the words he chooses. He wants people to fall in line, and if they don't, they lose their access. They're not allowed to be in the company of the president. Notably, in the last 2 days, when the AP reporters have been blocked, in one case, I'm told physically blocked from entering the Oval Office, the photographer was still allowed in, the AP photographer, right? Because the president still wants his photo taken. He wants the pictures, but not the words. This is a First Amendment violation, and I expect in the next few days the AP will file suit. And they have a very strong case in court. This is yet another example where the courts will be the recourse for presidential action.
In this clip from CNN, we've got Navarro in rare form supposedly embarrassing a MAGA pundit in this heated debate. At least that's what the headlines say. My editor sent me this clip, so I have not seen it just the same as many of you. So let's get into this clip together where, of course, as always, I'll be giving you my opinion and seeing if she actually brought the heat or if this is just another media spin job. Let's get into it.
And what are the other media outlets doing?
Right now, they're still showing up, they're still asking questions, but that's right, the Correspondents Association has condemned this and called it unacceptable. I think you're suggesting maybe reporters should, what, skip the briefing?
Should band together, because, I mean, listen, if the bully manages to bully one, he's not going to stop at one.
I don't think this is as emotional as you're making it out to be. You know, take away the hysteria for a moment. First off, Trump doesn't need
Who's
AP
being
to
hysterical?
Take, both of you. Trump doesn't need, first of all, AP
You obviously
to take
don't know what a
photographs.
hysterical and a Navarro is
I just believe it comes down to compliance.
That's true,
Trump
actually.
put out an executive order. There was an executive
God, we're barely 30 seconds into the clip and she's not wasting any time.
order. He changed the name legally to Gulf of America. They're United States-based. I know they're international as well, but right now they're covering U.S. politics. So if he makes an executive order, they should respect that. And if they don't, being there is not a right, it's a privilege.
So I'm just going to add in here, though, that this has been called the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years, and every other nation calls it the Gulf of Mexico. So just because Trump claims that we need to...
States.
Okay, but doesn't this feel like a really weird, like, wokeism thing on the right? Like, it feels like the right's version of, like, Latinx or, like, birthing person. It just feels like a really weird hill to die on.
Nobody, by the way, just to be clear, nobody had to comply with any of that.
Yeah, if the Biden
administration did that, and if they did, I
would be up in arms.
You know, heads would be exploding at this table.
Maybe
If someone said to you, you've got to refer to people as
They should
birthing
adopt
people.
the Prince method. Just have a little symbol called the Gulf, formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico, which should now be called whatever the hell.
But there's a much broader...
The Gulf of whatever the hell he wants.
But there's a much broader danger. Today it's the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America. Tomorrow, what is it? The president says there's only two genders in this world. We all know transgender people. What happens when the AP reports on transgender Americans? What happens when CNN or ABC or the New York Times?
So here they go with the slippery slope argument, as if Trump renaming a body of water is somehow going to lead to the media being banned from covering transgender issues. However, just to entertain it, let's actually follow their logic just for a second. If the government actually starts to enforce strict language rules, who's been the biggest offender of that? The Democrats. They are the ones who fire people for misgendering. They are the ones trying to make it illegal to question radical gender ideology. They are the ones demanding that you erase basic biology from speech entirely. Meanwhile, if you don't play along, they come after you like a digital mob with pitchforks. You lose your job, you get banned off social media, you get labeled as a bigot overnight. But when Trump tells a news outlet, hey, I'm calling it this now, suddenly they're the brave warriors of free speech. Like, come on. Does anyone actually believe the AP is some neutral observer here? They are a left-wing propaganda machine. They'll gladly use terms like Latinx, birthing person, and whatever new language rules the woke elites dream up. But this is where they take a stand. It's like a vegan drawing the line at oat milk. The hypocrisy is insane. At least that's what I think. But let's go ahead and continue to see what everyone else says.
Okay,
are those the next outlets to be punished?
I believe that there's two genders, and then Biden tells me that there's 73. I don't comply with that.
Yeah, but Biden
administration isn't barring Fox News from covering press conferences.
Right, he's not going to ban you from
And
coming
Trump
to
hasn't
the
done
White
that
House
yet.
because
This
you
is
have a
what I
different
mean
belief.
about
Well, for the last 2 days, though, the AP has been blocked from attending events that it's intended for decades.
Executive order.
No, I really would rather you not refer to me
ban
as hysterical for expressing an opinion. I think that's incredibly disrespectful. I don't do it to you.
Why do you think the AP won't just call it the Gulf of America? I mean, the president does rename things. We rename was the mountain Denali, Mount McKinley.
Let me read their explanation for why they are not doing it. Essentially, they are saying that Mexico. The Trump's order only carries authority within the United States. Mexico, as well as other countries and international bodies, do not have to recognize that name change. The Gulf of Mexico has carried that name for 400 years. As was said at the table, and the Associated Press is going to refer to it by its original name, while acknowledging that Trump has a new name that he would like to call it. They are an international organization. No one except Trump with a pen has said that it's the Gulf of America. It's a body of water that also has borders with another country, and it's been named that for 400 years.
I know, but we have a lawful process in this country for changing the name of it. The president went through it with the Secretary of the Interior, by the way. I mean, it feels
a
little
different. Can I just answer your Denali question? The Denali thing is actually different because that's a place that's in the United States proper. It exists in
But we changed the name of it. The point is we changed the name of it.
We have the ability to change the name. It's Mount McKinley. It's Mount McKinley.
But we also have the ability to change this body of water. I think, look, this smacks to me of a news organization looking for a way to pick a fight with Donald Trump over something that they don't need to pick a fight over.
Exactly.
B, he is the president, and there is a lawful process that he did follow to do it.
The news organization did not pick a fight with Donald Trump over this. Donald Trump picked a fight with the news organization.
No, they're not calling it by the name.
No, the news organization can do whatever they want. If they want to call it the Gulf of South America, they can call it that.
But why would I respect a news organization that doesn't deal in reality?
But
you don't have to.
Information. If to not call it what it is.
They can call it whatever they want because there's free speech in this country. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, but that, in my opinion, if you're not willing to call something by the proper name based on the laws of the United States, that calls into question your judgment. And are you a news organization,
by the way,
or are you
there
just?
are no laws in play here. It's an executive order, and the body of water is not named by the United States. It's named by global organizations that name global landmarks. It's not their law.
So you don't respect Donald Trump's executive order or the Secretary of the Interior's process on this either.
Donald Trump had an executive order, but the Associated Press is not bound by it.
Scott, what if?
Oh, this is funny. Now the left suddenly cares about the laws of the United States. The same people who spent the last decade telling us that laws are meant to be broken. The same people who claim that voter ID laws are oppressive, but somehow vaccine mandates were totally fine. It's amazing how respecting the law only applies when it benefits them. And furthermore, what is the proper name here? The United States doesn't own the Gulf of Mexico. It's a body of water that borders Mexico. If Mexico decided tomorrow to rename the Mississippi River Rio de Mexico and demanded we all use their new name, would we comply? Of course not. This is just political posturing. And to be real, do we really think Trump cares that much about this? No. This is just a classic Trump move. He loves throwing out symbolic moves like this because he knows the media will lose their minds over it. And evidently they took the bait. The same people who tell us that gender is just a social construct and words evolve over time are now pretending like names are set in stone. Give me a break. And then he also likes to add in calls into question your judgment. Oh, the irony. The media demands that we blindly accept all of their redefinitions of reality, whether it's gender, race, or history. But when someone else does it, suddenly it's a credibility issue. Think about how many times the left has forced name changes. Rioters burning down cities? No, those are mostly peaceful protesters. A man who identifies as a woman? You better say she or lose your job. A recession? Sorry, we're just redefining that now. But when Trump signs an executive order to rename a body of water, how dare he? This is a crisis. The double standards are off the chart. And to be even more honest, nobody's going to actually call it the Gulf of America, not even Trump supporters. This is just about flexing power, the same way the left does this all the time. But for whatever reason, the media doesn't like it when they aren't in control, and that's what this meltdown is really about. In my opinion, at the end of the day, it's not about a name change. It's about the media losing their grip on being the sole arbiters of truth. That's why they hate Trump, because he reminds people they don't have to listen to the so-called experts. And that, my friends, is what truly drives them insane. Of course, that's what I think. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Down in the comments below, let me know. Do you agree with the points that I made? Do you agree with the points made within this clip? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.